Hello and welcome back to A Journey to King's Cross, a Harry Potter book podcast. We just finished Chapter 11 aboard the Hogwarts Express. Artwork for it is pretty fitting given the nature of the weather and everything. We get a bunch of packaging and stuff with I'm guessing an owl.
Luggage and stuff.
Packages, luggage.
Very different.
If you say so.
I am saying so.
I know you are. That's why I'm responding to you. This is how conversations work, sweetheart.
Those are clearly locks on those and handles, so yes, it's
Don't worry, I'm gonna smack him eventually.
Wouldn't be the first time.
There, I did it now.
Yay.
We also get a thunderbolt with some rain coming down, and of course we see the owl with the bit of covering and stuff.
Owl looks very big for pig.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Hedwig or a random owl, to be honest, because the pointedness kind of gives me like a horned owl look.
I was getting barn owl vibes.
Yeah, that works too. Anyway, after we finished this chapter and everything, Kimmy basically let out well, that was a big fat nothing of a chapter. Outside of, setting up, the ongoing mystery of the story about who's at Hogwarts and stuff and everything. As a kid, I completely missed it, but, a reread of this this book and everything, you're like, oh, well, yeah, right there, that's when it friggin' bloody well happened. Spoilers for a book that's probably, over 2 decades old at this point?
At the very least. Well...
Yeah, Moody got jumped and captured, basically, in this, in this chapter and everything, and they're doing their darndest to kind of cover everything up. There's an alternate universe reality right there where they can't get him off, and so Barty Crouch Jr. ends up going back to Azkaban on accident. He turns back into normal, they're like, wait, what the hell?
Can I see a picture? Okay, big, but yeah, could be. So I had to look it up. Pigwidgeon is a Scops owl, or Scops, S-C-O-P-S owl. And they are kind of got the pointed feathers.
Oh, he looks adorable.
But they're very rare, apparently.
The horns or the owl?
The owl.
Wait, and this guy is whining about the fact that all of his shit sucks and stuff and everything. He's potentially got one of the rarest owls in, the world. Jeez. Yep. Bro is never satisfied with anything, man.
Yep.
Correct.
Why
this tells you, because there's,
rubbish.
Several subspecies of the Scops owl, and I'm on Wikipedia, which, I know, take everything on the internet, especially Wikipedia, with a grain of salt, but...
They're usually pretty good about getting the right information.
All of the subspecies links are in red, which generally indicates there's not a lot of information about it.
That's unfortunate.
That also kind of lends credence to the species as a whole.
Credence.
The species as a whole is rare.
I mean, fair enough. But we, of course, start off and everything with the use of flu powder being used as a communication device and everything, which will pop up quite a couple of times over the course of the franchise. Also, I don't know if we realized it earlier and stuff, but this description of him being like a bearded egg and everything definitely makes me feel like he's just bald. Bald with a beard.
Bald with a beard.
If you can't grow it on your head, grow it on some other part of your face. Anyway, we have a bit of we have a brief back and forth and stuff with, Mr. Weasley and all those other things about Mad-Eye Moody. I do like the fact that they, I think one of the twins, I can't remember which one it was, actually kind of makes a comment about Moody and everything, and then makes another comment about the birds of a feather, implying both his dad and Mad-Eye are a bunch of nutters. Which
they literally follow that up with Molly's like, your father thinks very highly of Mad-Eye. And one of them goes, yeah, well, Dad collects plugs, so...
Yeah. Quiet you is basically the only response I have to that comment. But, yeah, definitely fitting and everything. I'm surprised they didn't just casually drop that he was starting at Hogwarts or something. The Harry Potter franchise has a weird habit of waiting until the last possible second to actually confirm or not confirm something. Like the Azkaban guards until they're officially named and introduced as Dementors. And then after that, they're just called Dementors. Mad-Eye Moody is just Mad-Eye Moody until he's Professor Moody, and he's not given that, like, association whatsoever until he is officially in Hogwarts
right.
at the staff table, basically.
Except for Lupin. His suitcase did say Professor...
R.J. Lupin.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not 100% accuracy on that and everything.
But yeah.
But here's the other thing. What was he a professor, like, where was he teaching at before Hogwarts if his freaking, like, luggage and stuff looked so well worn and it had that name on there?
Which, again, magic. Why couldn't he just magic it?
I don't understand why he doesn't use magic to repair his shit. Like, Hermione fixed Harry's glasses, I think, once, and so did Arthur as well after they broke in book 2. It's just sort of like, why would you ever have shit that's not in decent repair?
Maybe he just sucks at reparo.
Jeez, Hermione's out here flexing on people in her first year, folks.
Listen,
I know, right?
Listen, I don't understand this about Harry because I shit you not. If I found out I was a witch, the first spell I would be mastering would be Reparo.
Especially living with Dudley.
Reparo and
as someone with glasses.
Scourgify as well, which is a cleaning spell. Like,
Right.
fixing and cleaning, those are the things I want down
Or like
pat.
a shrinking spell on your clothes.
Like as someone
So
with
many
glasses.
things.
I 100% would be learning Reparo as soon as possible.
Third thing I'd be doing is whatever, what's his name from the Fantastic Beasts story?
Newt?
I'm gonna get, like, a freaking, like, a giant suitcase and have it expand to it's basically a giant house in there. And I'm gonna live
You're
out
a
the
bag
back.
of holding it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a house in there. I'm gonna put everything I can think of and stuff. Video games, comics, everything. And I'm going to live out the back of my car and do minimum work for the rest of my life. Because I would have a literal house in my back seat, basically.
Pocket
Again,
dimension.
Magic, again, the universe doesn't make any sense why anybody's, like, poor and struggling.
Yeah.
Or why everybody isn't, like, got mansions, basically. And, like, there's just some things I will never understand about the wizarding world and everything. It's blatantly clear she's trying to keep as close to our reality as humanly possible.
But, like, the lines are there.
But magic!
But yeah.
But magic, indeed!
Because seriously, the Weasleys could have, like, a trailer, and then you go into it, and it's like,
It's
This
bigger
is
on the inside.
glistening marble floors in West Wing, East Wing. Holy shit, does that go up 4 stories?
Yeah, some wizards want to have, like, a fancier outside and everything because they like to show off to people, but, most wizards can get by with basically a bucket if they really wanted to.
Or
A tent.
a tent? Or a
suitcase.
suitcase. I wanted to say shoebox. I'm like, shoebox is not it, but it starts
No,
with an
I
S and it's 2
understand
words.
having a physical location as it for safety's sake. Because, I mean, you saw a random suitcase sitting somewhere, you gonna just leave it there?
Bomb threat.
Yeah, this
modern-
day and age, yeah, no, I'd be calling the police.
Or you'd be
That's
like,
why I would keep
trying
it in
to
the
find
back
out-
of a vehicle. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna fuck with a vehicle with luggage in the back. A good traveling salesman for anybody.
Well,
needs
I
to
mean,
know.
people could try to steal it. Then you have anti-theft and repellent charms on your car.
Yeah, and if you put it in your back seat, you could just, like, get in, lock the doors, and then go in your suitcase.
Yeah.
Magic doesn't make sense. Also, I just have to think of when you guys are like, oh, I'd be using Reparo all the time. It just makes me think of Revelio. Revelio.
Oh, yeah.
Revelio.
Hogwarts Legacy, like, basically
This
every
new
2
kid just keeps running around shouting Revelio, and we don't know why.
all of a sudden keeps finding things and stuff. Oh, that's why.
Oh shit, we didn't know that was there.
This son of a gun has somehow managed to accumulate God knows how many galleons just going around waving his wand everywhere. Why didn't we think of this?
He keeps breaking into our houses.
And he's also catching a lot of the wildlife in a book. It's weird.
What do you mean he has a phoenix and 5 unicorns and thestrals and hippogriffs in there? What do you mean he just goes around doing whatever he wants?
Goes off against poachers and stuff along those lines. Avada Kedavra! Avada Kedavra!
People.
He's got a body count, people. Why is nobody taking him to Azkaban? All the Dementors are like, we don't want him. We don't want him. He's fucking crazy. Or she. You can pick the gender.
Does that mean the number of murders in the wizarding world went up? or stay the same?
It went down.
Like, if you kill murderers, it goes. If you kill multiple murderers, it goes down.
We're gonna Dexter this bitch.
Look, man. I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. Anyway, we of course continue on with finally, like, ironically enough, without Mr. Weasley, things go a bit smoother getting to the Hogwarts Express. There was no like immediate backtracking like in book 2 or anything along those lines.
Yes, because there was
The fireworks randomly going off was definitely not,
Yeah, not helpful. But okay, there was how many kids?
Well, you have
I think we got
twins,
this.
Ginny, that's 3, and then the trio, that's 6.
Yeah, I don't think Hermione was with them like year 1, so technically it would be the same amount because Percy's not available, but Hermione is.
No, wrong.
I mean,
7, because in year 2 there was Mr. Weasley.
We
You
weren't
had so
counting
many
adults.
I know, I'm making
We were
it...
counting kids.
I know.
So it's this-
Then why are you acting like you got this
Book
aha
3,
moment?
by the way. Book 3 was the year that they had to keep backtracking.
I'm saying that Mr. Weasley is also acting like
book
a
2.
kid, and that's why it's going more smoothly right now.
Mr. Weasley wasn't the one who forgot anything, though.
Because Molly's like, I'm not turning this car around.
I'll send it through the mail.
Better make sure it's all packed now.
I forgot my diary. I forgot my filibuster fireworks. I'm gonna be honest. If one of my kids said they left their explosives at home before going to boarding
Good.
school, it's good.
Not going anywhere. Also, this answers... I think we had a question before of how they got to the platform. Well, that's how. They called the Muggle taxis.
That I like how Harry's like making commentary under like in his own head and everything about like not having cats and owls in the back. I'm surprised they let them in to begin with, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, I have to admit though, there were like we finally get to talking to some of the other schools and stuff. I do not understand what Rowling was thinking when she had 7 magical schools throughout the entire world basically to make up.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
One
Britain
on
gets
each
one.
continent. One on each continent.
Britain has 1, and France has the others. Technically, Europe has 2, and everybody else basically has freaking 1, more or less.
Well, Europe gets 2 because Antarctica doesn't count.
Yeah, honestly,
Well, hold on.
I would have infinitely preferred multiple different schools from different areas and
Yeah.
stuff.
That would have made more
at
sense.
least, and maybe not, not every one of them is a boarding school. You know what I mean? Like, you could go to
Maybe some of them are, regular day schools.
Yeah. Over in the States and stuff along those lines, boarding schools aren't exactly what we would consider common. Even
Yeah.
private schools still send the kids home at the end of the day.
Depending on the private school, yeah.
So, unless you're going off to military school or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So, I could only imagine, having a better transport system or something, maybe even a flu network, and maybe 3 or 4 schools in the United States alone, in terms of prestige, with a bunch of smaller ones in certain areas.
I mean, even the United States only having 1 school, if the wizarding community
That makes
is
even
small
less sense.
enough.
It doesn't matter, how small it is. The United States only having the 1 school makes less sense than England having the 1 school.
Because of how
big
that's
we are.
if we're just going on, how big the country is, but, people go across country for college, but if you only have, let's say, 1,000 kids, wizard kids, going to school, you really only need 1 school.
To be fair, Harry's class size is considered small, basically, and everything. And the population in Britain is horrible because, they already survived 1 war, had a low birthing rate because of it, and then they end up jumping into another one.
That's fair.
I think somebody did the math and stuff. I think they basically crunched it so the wizarding population is 1 or 2% of all of Britain or something along those lines. It was a decent amount. But if you take that into account and everything, 1% of the population of the United States, or hell, even China and stuff, would require more than 1 school.
Yeah. I just realized, depending on the exact timing of when Voldemort and Grindelwald happened, the Wizarding World went from Muggle War, Wizarding War, Wizarding War. Third Wizarding War. Well,
yeah,
depending on how much...
Because didn't Grindelwald happen during World War II?
Yeah, it was like the 40s or something.
It was around that time period, to be perfectly honest. But it's one of those things where it's like, Europe must have been going through hell in a handbasket, but it still wouldn't explain why they only have so many schools. Like, if you think about it, having to transport wizarding populations between, Germany during the 1940s and France during the exact same time period would have been a really fun experience, to be perfectly honest, if most of Europe is going to,
Beauxbaton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think she thought this out at all.
Shock. Anyway. We, of course, get back onto the Hogwarts Express after Charlie, talks about things, and I don't understand why the Weasley family is so hush-hush about it. It's like, we're not supposed to talk about it. It's like...
Because sometimes he follows the rules.
Percy being a complete, prat and
Waffle.
everything basically makes sense. But why, the rest of the family isn't just sort of screw it, we'll tell them just because.
Yeah, but think about this. They're also a bunch of little shits, and they love giving their siblings a hard time.
Yeah, but at the same time, I would have been like, Draco probably knows what's going on, and I'd rather not have to hear him teasing me for the entire train ride. Can you just tell me what's going on, so that way I don't have to deal with his ass?
Fair.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, I think the whole reason they keep their mouth shut is specifically so Malfoy can be a dick later in the chapter.
Well, yeah, that's why she wrote it, of course. I think one thing is that they would love to tell Harry, but they know he's too good of a guy, and he would absolutely tell Ron. So they're like, well, we want to give Ron shit, so we can't do that. Because Harry's too nice.
I don't know. Harry could be... Harry teasing Ron on occasion sounds like... such a guy thing, you know what I mean? On occasion...
That would be good writing, though.
Yeah, I guess that is one of the things that would theoretically hint to J.K. Rowling being a chick if you didn't actually know. Because let's be perfectly honest, if there's one thing guys love, is messing with each other when they got the opportunity. They could have told Harry, and Harry would have been more than happy to hold it over Ron's head until Malfoy shows up, and then in which case all bets are off. But...
yeah, I feel like guys are definitely like, let's do it for the lulz.
Damn right.
For the walls.
For the waffles. Of course, we get the hidden thing with Hogwarts and stuff, with Hermione's whole explanation of it being bewitched and stuff.
And her, once again, complaining that nobody's read Hogwarts: A History.
Why would we need to? You've done it for us. So anytime a question pops up and everything, you're more than happy to freaking tell us, because you're an insufferable know-it-all. Oh, man. I do love Ron's, little line where it's like, think of the possibilities, said Ron dreamily. It would have been so easy to push Malfoy off a glacier and make it look like an accident. Shame his mother likes him. And the delivery in the audiobook was just
pretty perfect.
Perfect. Chef's kiss.
That legitimately got a laugh out of me. We get the comment about,
okay,
of the weather and stuff, and honestly, they talk a little bit back and forth about, the trip to, see the Quidditch World Cup, which, honestly, I'm surprised Ron hasn't been talking everybody's ear off who would
sounds
listen.
like it, because Hermione was just like, I'm done. Nose in book.
I mean, fair, but it feels
Boys
like...
in their sports. Why'd you even go then, Hermione?
I think she just wanted to be included.
Well, it's funny because, Ron was saying about the top box or whatever, and Malfoy made a comment about, oh, it's the one and only time in your lifetime that you'll be, you were up there or whatever. And it's like, from what they were saying at the beginning of the book, going to the World Cup in and of itself is a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah, it sounds like even you wouldn't get to go that often, Draco.
So like, woo, Malfoy. Try not to trip over that bar.
Right, because this year it just happened to be in England.
Yeah.
I would be legitimately shocked if Harry isn't capable of just buying tickets whenever the hell it comes around and traveling there with, like, what he's got at his disposal and stuff, you know?
Okay, but Harry's filthy fucking rich.
I know,
and
but,
he's
like...
not generationally rich, like the Malfoys, where they'd also not spend money to make sure that they stay rich kind of shit. Like, just frivolous trips across the countries for Quidditch? No, thank you.
Yeah.
But it's here in England, so we must put on appearances.
Here's the thing, though, is that Harry does end up going to another one. I don't know if he's necessarily in the top box, but there is that Rita Skeeter article that talks about it later on. So he does in fact get to go again at some point in the future and everything after he's married. So, you know, I'd be shocked if Ron didn't get to go.
His wife also becomes a famous Quidditch player, so it would be weird if he didn't go to Quidditch World Cups.
That his wife is basically
probably
star
playing in,
yeah.
Or if not playing in, like, guest of honor kind of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if Ginny gets, like, a bunch of, like, tickets that she can hand out. And I can see her holding that over Ron's head for a little while, but she'd still give him a pass.
You know, that's another thing, that even if Harry didn't become a professor at Hogwarts, he would have gone on to play Quidditch professionally. Or coached a small team. Or gone to Hogwarts to coach the Quidditch team. Because the only time he ever felt truly at home was on a fucking broom.
Yeah.
But no, comes a wizard cop.
Makes no sense.
Hey, look. There's a lot of things that she decided to do and everything that obviously, honestly, God, makes no sense when it comes to Harry.
Harry being a bad parent makes no sense.
Yeah, that's...
In the sense that... It doesn't mean that just because he's the main character, he means he's going to be a good dad. But the way in which he's a bad dad, it doesn't make sense for his character arc.
I would honestly say I could see Harry turning into a helicopter parent before I could see him being...
Right!
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be like, no, don't do these things. I did these things. Don't do these things.
I could, like...
Telling his son that he wishes that he never was his dad or whatever. Fucking fuck that shit.
Yeah, no.
We're getting off topic, though.
Yeah, well, to be fair, we don't really go any further than that, to be perfectly honest. We've more or less ran to the end of chapter 11 at this point.
Draco bragging about how he almost went to a different school. Makes I immediately think of a Harry Potter musical. And next year, I'll be transferred to Pigfots. It's on the moon. And the headmaster is a lion named Rumble Roar.
Starting to sound like Luna there, Malfoy.
I'm not, you know what, but it's real. In the Harry Potter musical canon universe, the school is real. Pigfarts is real, and Rumble Roar is too.
I was looking it up. So apparently there are 11 wizarding schools.
Oh,
Makes
okay.
a little more sense.
Yep. And so it says, like, there are some places where, like, they just can't... They're too isolated to get to a school. They'll usually get homeschooled. And there are some, like the one in... There's a school in Japan, like, not Hogwarts, but a wizarding school in Japan, where it's a day school. Fucking Lord of the Rings, that shit. Apparently they write giant storm petrels.
Oh, yeah. Like, some of the schools are, like, infinitely better education than you're going to get at Hogwarts. It's just
It
kind
also
of
said
wild.
there was correspondence courses, sometimes used as a cost-effective method to educate young witches and wizards in countries with very small or isolated wizarding populations.
Because
how much of this shit, I feel like some of the, like the Pottermore stuff, feels like it's fucking ghost written. That she never came up with it. Somebody who actually knows how to plan things came up with this shit.
To be fair though, like, yeah, some of the other I know the school in Africa, basically you are taught how to become an animagus before you hit 5th year, and they don't use wands at all.
stuff we learned from the video game.
Yeah, so, like... Well, no, actually, that predated the video
Oh.
game.
But they used it in the video game. And it's like, wait, so they're better?
Yeah. I think, technically speaking, I think Hogwarts is actually kind of in the middle in terms of its overarching educational abilities in terms of teaching and stuff. Quite a few of the other schools have much higher standards for your education in terms of what you learn and, you know, what's required of you and everything. Africa being the highest, like that place is like their requirements and stuff are wildly big. But, you know, feather in that cap.
This stinks of like, oh, America school is best because America great. Hogwarts school best because go England. That's what it sounds like.
Honestly, I think there was a couple of things that were kind of impressive about the school in America and everything, but I couldn't remember off the top of my head.
The name.
I just know... I can't even remember that.
Yeah, that's why
The African school I know has, like, the highest...
Yeah,
like,
they're the biggest.
Like, in terms of, like, what you're required to learn there and what they're teaching is got a much more expansive...
They've also got the largest number of students, from what I was reading. And Japan has the smallest.
That kind of makes sense. Kind of. I would imagine... You'd think Britain would have the smallest, given the fucking conflicts they keep getting involved in. But last two major Dark Lords are in their neck of the woods. One was European, mind you, but one was entirely... The other one was completely Britain entirely, basically. To the point where you don't even see any international wizards trying to help deal with him at all. Anyway... We run into Hagrid and stuff, and they make a comment about the rain and going across in the boat, and I made a comment about the fact that they've got magic and everything. You think they'd have the decency to take care of the weather a little bit for the new students and not letting them get completely drenched on the way in, but, you know, whatever.
Or, you know, have the boats be enchanted with a anti-rain spout, like, umbrella over covered boats, maybe?
I mean, fair. Like, I recall, I think it was one of the Fantastic Beasts had, like, a wand spell that you point your wand up and it creates an airstream or something to prevent you from getting rained on. Honestly, probably one of the most useful uses of magic I'd actually seen in the franchise, to be honest.
Why aren't all cloaks automatically spelled to repel... to enchantedly spell... I give up on words. To repel rain.
That's
Granted, the charms wouldn't last forever, but they'd last a while.
Considering you'd have to go through a couple of robes just going through Hogwarts before you get the chance to learn it. I mean, why the hell not? Anyway, I've run out of things to say about this chapter.
I don't have anything else. I think we've covered pretty much everything.
I'm surprised we got as much into it considering the overall, like, minimalism of the chapter itself, but anything else to add, Kimmy?
No?
I didn't think so. She's getting a little absorbed into her phone.
I am not.
They were playing with their Neopets and stuff earlier.
Actually, I'm doing a coloring game right now, so nah. Stick that new juice box and suck it.
Oh, blow me.
No.
Anyway, we'll wrap things up here.
You can at least try.
We'll wrap this up here then. Plug your stuff?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, or FlossTube, under Brandywine Stitches, and the rest of the socials at Hockeytown Candle Co.
Have you done any of that lately?
I need to do another.
Yeah, I think it's been a minute.
To be fair, every time I've thought about doing it, I've had the kids in the house.
You can find me at Luma's Creation Corner.
Have you made my chocobo yet?
I'll kill you.
Please do. I'm done. The world is burning, and I don't want to choke it to death.
That's valid.
Anyway, you can find me on Twitch and everything Mondays and Wednesdays on Cole Sanders. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what we did wrong. Tell us what we did right. Comments. Anything we might have missed and stuff. And until next time...
Keep your wands at the ready.
Bye!